Hey, what's up, everybody? Going to do a classic rock reaction, man. This is a live reaction, man, and we're going to be reacting to Black Sabbath, Killing Yourself to Live, and it's live at Cal Jam in '74. Looking forward to it, man. Black Sabbath live. I've only, I believe, done one reaction that included Black Sabbath live, and now I can't even remember. I think it might have been War Pigs, live Ozzy at the helm. I can't think of any other live Black Sabbath stuff that I've done. So this is quite a treat. Gonna really enjoy it, man. So before I pop this off, I first want to give a shout out and thanks to Alan, aka Walking Wounded .64. Brother, you got the longest title, man. There's nobody else with such a long ass title than you. So Alan says, "Hi Wayne, I watched this whole show live on TV that weekend. I was 10 and I've been a music fan and musician ever since." Alan, excellent, man. Yeah, looking forward to it. Black Sabbath. What else can you say about Black Sabbath than iconic, man? Black Sabbath, Killing Yourself to Live, live, Cal Jam '74. Let's get it.
A number now for our latest album, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. The track's called Killing Yourself to Live. Wow, man. I've never seen so many people in my life.
So young.
Well, people look at me there. Well, I don't think that I even care. You're working life away, what do they give? You're only killing yourself to live. Killing yourself to live. Killing yourself to live. Just take a look around and what do you see? Pain, suffering, and misery. Think that's the way that the world was planned. It's a pity you don't understand. Killing yourself to live. Killing yourself to live.
I'm surprised only one person is climbing up that tower. That's time to smile and laugh in the middle of the solo.
I'm telling you, anything nobody else will tell you. Open your eyes and see the light. Oh yeah.
These guys are singing about very serious personal matters. How can anyone think that they're devil worshippers? Fantastic. Black Sabbath at Cal Jam, 1974. Oh man, those of you who were around back then, you were old enough to go and be there, be a part of it. That must have been just fantastic to see these guys in their heyday. Let me know if you were at any of these Black Sabbath concerts during their heyday, you know, in the Aussie years. Let me know about that, man. Let me know what the experience was and how it was and all of that. I'm sure you've got a great story to tell. Fantastic, man. Black Sabbath, one of the best ever, man. Wow. So much history, so young, you know. Oh, man. All right, so Killing Yourself to Live, man. Of course, I remember the tune. Black Sabbath month. Man, I tell you, that was a crazy time. I remember there was this crazy battle in the Artist of the Month, and I believe it was April last year, and we had it was the Doors and Aerosmith just in this crazy, and out of nowhere in the last, I think it was the last 2 days, something like 15 patrons joined, and every single one of them casted a vote for Black Sabbath, and Black Sabbath just inched past the Doors and Aerosmith just by 2 votes. It was crazy, man, I tell you. I'll always remember Black Sabbath for that, just coming through at the very, very last minute, Artist of the Month. That was cool. Yeah. There was something else I was going to say about Black Sabbath. It just slipped my mind. But anyway, man, hey, this was excellent. Really, really nice footage. They're having a good time. They're on top of things. And yeah, everyone at Cal Jam seemed to be having a really good time enjoying Black Sabbath, man. So much history between my channel and Black Sabbath. When Black Sabbath was Artist of the Month, I had a bunch of so-called Christians especially come into my comment section, my YouTube comment section, talking about you're gonna burn in hell, you're gonna have to answer to the Lord, fire and brimstone, you're gonna roast in the lake of fire, and all of this sort of thing, and just really causing a lot of they wanted to cause confrontation in the comment section, and they really stirred up a lot of Black Sabbath fans, and they were saying stuff like even insulting people's moms. Oh man, it got really, really bad, and I actually had to block. It was my biggest mass blocking on my channel. I blocked like 23 people during Black Sabbath Artist of the Month. Can you believe that shit? Some ignorant fools out there. Even some of my friends. Oh, you're gonna do reactions to Black Sabbath? Don't those guys worship demons and shit? Man, you know. I tell you, I I couldn't believe it. And I went to a buddy's place, and his mom is this big, crazy old Orthodox Christian lady, just really, really judgmental. She's the matriarch, and every single thing she says is truth, right? And to even oppose her would be blasphemous. And that's the first thing she said to me. She said, yeah, man, you know, I thought that you had more sense than that. I thought you were a man who was smart, and you're listening to war pigs and all of this sort of thing, and, you know, rubbing shoulders with people who like to listen to devil worshippers. Man, I tell you, you're all fools. Every single last one of you. Yeah, you too, Maggie. Yeah, I'm calling you a fool. You know, I've really come to really appreciate Black Sabbath to a certain degree, where I put them in a really great category where these guys, right off the bat, listening to War Pigs, I realized that these guys had something serious to talk about. And a lot of their other songs, they were talking about the trials of the times and the testing of the times. They were singing things about being concerned about the Cold War, the Vietnam War, drug addiction by soldiers returning from service, and the dire consequences of what could befall our culture if things do not change. And they were basically pleading and giving a call to action. If you really pay attention to what they were saying in their music, and not getting sidetracked by the long hair or whatever it is that you're focusing on, you will really come to appreciate what these guys had to say. They had some serious stuff to say. I caught that right away. War Pigs was my second song that I reacted to in my channel when it came up. The first song was Fortunate Son, and right after that was War Pigs. As soon as Fortunate Son went up, I had a whole bunch of people saying, oh man, you're really going to hit the anti-war stuff hard, aren't you? Okay, well, if that's the case, you definitely have to do War Pigs by Black Sabbath. So that was my second reaction once my channel went up. And oh man, that started it. I believe that Black Sabbath was that cascading element that got everybody looking at my channel. And from there, it just, and within the next 2 months, I think I completed about four Black Sabbath reactions. So yeah, man, I'm telling you, Black Sabbath has a great history where it comes to my channel and the effect that it had and the boost that it had on my channel in the early onset, and then a little bit later once they became Artist of the Month. But I've always had a good relationship with Black Sabbath, still in the middle of doing their chronology. You know, I'm into, where am I now? Yeah, so now, where am I with Black Sabbath? Ronnie James Dio. I think I'm in the Dio years. So, you know, I've come a long way following Black Sabbath, the Unholy Trinity, as a 3-pack, you know. So yeah, man, I tell you, without the Unholy Trinity, my channel would not have blown up the way it had, because I've told this to many people before. Yeah, man, I was visualizing capping off at around 10,000 subscribers and getting there within about a 1.5 to 2 years, and it would be just a nice contained little club type of thing. But with the Unholy Trinity, they definitely helped to really grow my channel, and it's twice the amount that I actually bargained for. So yeah, man, lots and lots of props going towards Black Sabbath. They definitely played a huge part in my channel's growth. Anyway, man, I'm just going off. So let us get into a little structure and focus on Black Sabbath, Killing Yourself to Live. Great, fantastic performance there, man. All right. So let's, okay, yeah. So it's more album information rather than song details. But let's check that out, man. Black Sabbath, Killing Yourself to Live. Killing Yourself to Live appears on Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. It's the fifth studio album by English rock band Black Sabbath, released December of '73. It was produced by the band and recorded at Morgan Studios in London, September '73. Recording. Following Black Sabbath's 72-73 world tour in support of their album Volume 4, the group returned to LA to begin work on its successor. Pleased with Volume 4, the band sought to recreate the recording atmosphere and return to the Record Plant Studios. The band rented a house in Bel Air and began writing in the summer of '73, but due in part to substance abuse and fatigue, were unable to complete any songs. Quote, ideas weren't coming out the way they were on Volume 4, and we really got discontent, guitarist and songwriter Tony Iommi said. I just couldn't think of anything to write. In 2013, bassist Geezer Butler told Mojo magazine that after the tour, in support of Volume 4, the band was, quote, absolutely completely exhausted, and by the time they played the Hollywood Bowl, Tony collapsed. It was really touch and go at one point whether he'd survive or not, because he was totally depleted. So we had to cancel the rest of the tour, and we actually took time off for the first time since the band started. We got away from each other and had a social life. Then we came back together to start on the next album and couldn't come up with anything. In his autobiography, I Am Ozzy, singer Ozzy Osbourne states that in the time leading up to the Hollywood Bowl, quote, Tony had been doing coke literally for days. We all had, but Tony had gone over the edge. I mean, that stuff just twists your whole idea of reality. You start seeing things that aren't there. And Tony was gone. Near the end of the gig, he walked off stage and collapsed. Unquote. Regarding his writer's block, Iommi admitted to Phil Alexander in 2013, quote, I panicked because I didn't have a single idea about what to write. It might have been the drugs, it could have been the pressure, but either way, I felt it was my fault. Unquote. Wow, the pressures, man. After a month in LA with no results, the band opted to return to the UK, where they rented Clearwell Castle in the Forest of Dean, in which the likes of Led Zeppelin, Mott the Hoople, and Deep Purple wrote and recorded. The medieval surroundings may have revitalized the band musically, but also left a sinister impression. In the liner notes of the '98 live album Reunion, Iommi recalls, quote, we rehearsed in the Armory there, and one night I was walking down the corridor with Ozzy, and we saw this figure in a black cloak. We followed this figure back into the Armory, and there was absolutely no one there. Whoever it was had disappeared into thin air. The people that owned the castle all knew about this ghost, and they said, oh yes, that's the ghost of so-and-so. We were like, what? Adds Butler. Geezer Butler said, we rehearsed in the dungeons, and it was really creepy, but it had some atmosphere. It conjured up things, and stuff started coming out again. While working in the dungeon, Iommi stumbled on the main riff of Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, which set the tone for the new material. In 2001, Butler admitted to Dan Epstein on Guitar World, quote, we almost thought that we were finished as a band. Once Tony came out with the initial riff for Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, we went, wow, we're back. Osbourne states that Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath was, quote, our last truly great album, I think. And with the music, we'd managed to strike just the right balance between our old heaviness and our new experimental side. Killing Yourself to Live was a Butler composition written while he was in hospital for kidney problems caused by heavy drinking. Ward was also drinking heavily, and the song reflects the problems caused by their extreme lifestyles. An early incarnation of the song can be heard on the live albums Live at Last and Past Lives. Okay, yo, holy. Critic's got a hell of a lot to say here about reception. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of it, man. Let's read maybe a couple. Release and reception. Black Sabbath released Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath on the 1st of December in '73. For the first time in their career, the band began to receive favorable reviews in the mainstream press. with Rolling Stone calling the album an extraordinarily gripping affair and nothing less than a complete success. Later reviews, such as AllMusic's Eduardo Rivadavia, cited the albums as, quote, a masterpiece essential to any heavy metal collection, while also displaying a newfound sense of finesse and maturity. The song Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath has been singled out for praise by many hard rock and heavy metal guitar players, with Slash from Guns N' Roses stating to Guitar World in 2008, the outro to Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath is the heaviest shit I have ever heard in my life. Kirk Hammett of Metallica cites Killing Yourself to Live as his favorite Black Sabbath song, revealing in the holiday 2008 issue of Guitar World that, quote, a lot of people gravitate toward the album's title track, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, but for me, this is the standout cut on the album, unquote. Okay, yeah, let's stop there, man. There's just so many reviews, but it looks like it's all favorable. All right, man, so that concludes a reaction and review of Killing Yourself to Live, live, Cal Jam 1974. I can see why you dig this so much, Alan. Really, really nice performance there. They're having a good time. Maybe they weren't so juiced up at that time. Or maybe they just got over it. If this is 74 and then this came out in actually 73, yeah, okay. Yeah, so it was around that time where they were starting to get into the sauce. But on stage, that performance, you can't tell. It looks like they're higher on life and nothing else. They don't look buzzed or stoned or anything like that. Yeah, great performance, man. Black Sabbath, definitely one of my favorite rock bands. So, let me see if I got any notes. Let me just scroll down here real quick. Yeah, okay, so no notes really, man. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing that I do on the classic rock platform. Just a bunch of quads and some album reactions and the Unholy Trinity. You know how I do with the classic rock platform. So that was it, man. So anyway, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this reaction and review. Alan, thank you. Thank you for the recommendation, man. So you guys have yourselves a good week. Take care, and I'll catch you later. Peace.